What's going on, Jerome? It's a beautiful Thursday. Birds are chirping and stuff, and it's time for another Vikings news dump. And also, please, for everything that's holy, Wolves, please force a Game 7 just one time. And I understand the 87 Twins and the 91 Twins were down 3-2. I don't know, man. But they better bounce back. They better bounce back quick. So, NFL schedules are out, and the Minnesota Fighting Vikings. What's interesting, so 2 primetime games. Only one game is at 3:05. They got one game in London, and the rest are all at noon. Like, this would be a Kirk Cousins wet dream, but it is what it is. But the Vikings, I mean, I know a lot of people are like, well, this is a tough schedule. What's going to happen? Fully understand, but you gotta, if you want to be the boss, you got to beat the boss, and you're not going to be playing Eastern Tennessee Tech, A&M Bar and Grill on the way to the Super Bowl. So guess what? Hey, yeah, Vikings got some tough games. Guess what? They got to play the Vikings. And that Brian Flores Hellfire defense, top 10 offense, quickly approaching top 5. Don't really care who's that quarterback, and you're going to be good to go. Because remember, I mean, the Vikings got some ish too. No problem, man. Home opener week 2 against the San Francisco 49ers, and it's going to be tough. Hey, if the Vikings eventually want to be contenders in the NFC, hopefully sooner rather than later, you're going to have to win these games. It is going to be tough, but it's going to be tough for the Niners too. Because remember what happened last time when San Francisco was here? Weird things happen without JJ. Crazy, right? But also, so yeah, this has been covered a lot, but Christmas Day, only on Netflix, streaming. You got the Chiefs and the Steelers, Ravens and the Texans. And what's interesting is that it's on Wednesday. And like several of these teams are playing basically 3 games in 10 days. So the NFL will talk about player safety, and then do this. But nah. But either way, it will be good. Also, I know tonight we're sort of jonesing for some football. I would take Broncos-Giants for a Thursday night game, just random. But Thursday night throughout the season, starting off week 2, because week 1, the home opener, the season opener, is going to be Ravens at Chiefs. But Bills-Dolphins down in South Beach week 2, blah, blah, blah. It is good. A lot of division matchups. Ooh, the stupid-ass Sean Payton Bowl, week 7. You got the Broncos visiting the Saints. Maybe there'll be a bounty gate involved. Who knows? But the Vikings, week 8, out against the Rams. You got the Kevin O'Connell, Sean McVay Bowl. It's going to be good times. Ooh, Matthew Stafford. Hey, welcome back. Hey, we missed you, buddy. The Texans and the Jets. Okay. And Black Friday, the Raiders and the Chiefs is always fun. So they really went hard in the paint in terms of divisional matchups on Thursday, which I think is smart because I feel like a lot of times Thursday night kind of gets poop-ad matchups. But it's good to see them get a couple premiums here where at minimum, like even if teams are bad towards the end of the season, like if and when the Packers and the Lions are bad, I mean, there's still divisional bad blood. And at least that will still be good for ratings. Sunday Night Football, so the marquee. No Sunday Night Football for the Vikings as of yet, unless they get flexed in later in the season. So you got the Chiefs-Ravens kickoff. Down in Brazil, you got the Packers and the Eagles. Again, seal the borders. Week 1 Sunday Night Football. Ooh, it's going to be a good one. So Matthew Stafford going back to Detroit, and that's going to be pretty damn fantastic. And also, I love like the movie posters that came out around the schedule release. I feel like teams are really going hard after that. It's good, man. Some of these, see Caleb Williams against Stroud week 2, sure. Ooh, Mahomes versus Kirk Cousins. See what happens week 3. Well, we'll see if Kurt's still starting. He might be benched for Penix by week 3. Bills and Ravens will be good. Cowboys Steelers, classic matchup. The Bengals and the Giants for some reason. Jets Steelers. So the Jets have 7 standalone games. Who wants to see the Jets as many friggin' times, man? Cowboys Niners going way back. The Jaguars and the Eagles Doug Peterson Bowl, sure. The Lions and the Texans, 2 young up and coming teams. Well, one has crested, the Lions, and now their wave will crest against the Shore, and then recede, and then the Texans are suddenly rising up. I love the Texans, man, but I mean, could you say the Texans are like the 4th best team in the AFC? AFC is stacked. AFC is stacked, man. Niners and the Bills, week 13 will be good. Thursday night on Thanksgiving is going to be the Dolphins at the Packers, which I kind of hope it snows, and then I kind of hope Mike McDaniel runs like the Delaware wing tee and runs for 350 yards on the stupid-ass Packers. So, Chargers, Chiefs, blah, 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 blah. Either way, I'll watch all these. I mean, these will be pretty good. Monday Night Football. So Vikings get one Monday night game, week 15. You got the Bears and the Vikings, which could be their dark mode game, which remains to be seen. Will we see blackout uniforms, or will they just hand out cheap black T-shirts? Don't know. But week 1, so you got Aaron Rodgers and the Jets on Monday Night Football again, facing the San Francisco 49ers. Rodgers grew up in Northern California, so there you go. Week 2, Kirk Cousins can't avoid the Eagles week 2 in Philly. It's kind of funny. Yeah. So there's a couple double headers. So week 3, you got the Jaguars, Bills, you got the Commies and the Bengals. Then you have the Titans and the Dolphins. Ooh, that's a rematch of that insane game from last season. And then you got Seahawks Lions is sneaky good. Week 4 double header. And then week 7, they got the Ravens and the Bucks. That's low key kind of fire. I like that one a lot. And they got the Chargers and the Cardinals out there in the doubleheader as well. Week 15 is another doubleheader. So you got the Bears and the Vikings, and also you got the Kirk Cousins going out to Vegas, because nothing says Las Vegas like Kirk Cousins. So there you go. Good times. Oh, also, week 18 is going to be a doubleheader. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, there you go. But also, so schedule releases, social media teams get a chance to shine. The Chargers were, of course, on one yet again. Also, the Tennessee Titans went back to the well. They went back to Broadway. And also, a funny one was, so last year, there was the Red Stallion or whatever person, and then she's hosting this year. And then she talked to some very country dudes from Nashville. Makes sense. And, of course, they say that the Vikings should not have gotten rid of Kirk Cousins. But Vikings Titans, November 17th. Get it on. Enjoy it. Also, so I mean, there's with so much player movement, there's inevitable revenge games and crossovers and stuff. And again, going back to these movie posters, these are pretty good. So reunions, of course, Kurt and Jefferson, which we'll talk about in a second. But the Texans, Josh Allen versus Stephon Diggs. We'll see who reigns supreme there. Saquon going from the Giants, probably tampered, went to the Eagles, and then Russell Wilson still getting paid $39 million from the Broncos, and then plays the Broncos. That's gonna be good. And then like we said, the Cousins versus JJ. Like it's not them versus them. I mean, Cousins and Jefferson, I'm sure have very cordial personal relationship, and they had a good professional relationship. They're not gonna be on the field at the same time, but it's gonna be good. And this is later on in the season, so it could be JJ McCarthy versus Cousins, or JJ McCarthy versus Penix, the 10 and 8 pick in the first round, respectively. Lastly, so who asked for this? So Hard Knocks is expanding again. So Hard Knocks used to be just training camp. I mean, that's where Mike Zimmer became a superstar with the Bengals, right? But then Hard Knocks in season, the Dolphins last year was good. Dolphins 2 years ago or last year? Because it was Jets preseason. That doesn't matter. But now they're doing Hard Knocks off season with the Giants, where they're going to cover from the end of the season, free agency, trades, the draft. So it will be interesting. But also, basically, it's just going to be them pooping on Daniel Jones and ruin the day that they signed that contract, as well as Malik Neighbors taking passive-aggressive shots at Daniel Jones. So that'll be good. But I secretly want the Vikings to be on Hard Knocks in season. I want that. I need it. I need it, man. But that's it. That's Thursday news dump for this Vikings news dump for this beautiful Thursday. Nailed it. Go Wolves, please. One time. Like, hey, just win Game 6. Just win Game 6. Anything can happen Game 7. And yeah, I mean, you got your ass kicked Game 5, but you kicked the Denver's ass Game 1 and 2. So strange things can happen in one game. Jokic looks bored as hell out there. Bring in some horses, distract him, and you're good. You're good, man. But you guys know what to do. Skull production value.